Hey there, YTPC, New Jersey Piper Ben here. Just lit up a bowl of Cornell and Deal's Mountain Camp, which is a nice, deep, smoky English blend. Having it in my little Dr. Graybo Adjustomatic Starfire, which is, I believe, from like the mid 50s. Nice bit of spice on that retro. It's a pretty decent English blend though. Not top notch. Definitely not the worst I've ever had. It's a solid, 3.5 out of 5-star blend, I'd say. It's one of the first tobaccos I ever bought way back in September of last year, but this is just when I first started doing pipes and tobacco. So yeah. So back in December of 2002 is when I graduated from college. And okay, I'm getting rained on right now. I'm gonna pause and see what happens. Just a bit of a sprinkle. I'm gonna try to power through it if I can. Because I looked at the forecast and it wasn't supposed to be anything significant for this time. It's definitely cloudy, but I hope the bottom doesn't drop out, but we'll see. So anyway, yeah, graduated in December of 2002 from Clemson University. But before that, the major required that you complete a co-op assignment, which is similar to an internship, but it's a paid internship. And companies would come to the university and interview with students. And I landed a role with Kraft Foods. And the job was going to be based in East Hanover, New Jersey, which is not even half an hour from where I live now. And this was at the time directly after Kraft Foods had acquired the Nabisco brand. So I was going to be, my co-op role was actually supporting what was known as Savory Biscuit. And what that means to you and me is crackers, basically. But yeah, so you have things like cheese nips and wheat thins and Triscuits and all those fun things. So I spent 6 months up here in Jersey, did a couple of projects. I actually launched a little handy snacks snack kit in my time, which was 6 months sounds like a long time, but on a normal project like that, to actually launch a new SKU on a 6 month timeline is actually fairly aggressive. There's a lot of development work that has to go into something like that. But that's not what this video is about. This video is basically about me being from a very small town in South Carolina. Hadn't really gone too many places, in my life. Hadn't traveled, internationally or anything like that. Probably the biggest sort of, or most significant sort of city experience I had at the time was being near Atlanta, never really being like in like downtown Atlanta or anything like that, but visiting things around Atlanta basically. And Atlanta's a sprawling city. It spreads out quite a bit, so it's easy to be near Atlanta but not be in Atlanta, the thick of it at least. But anyway, I'm a college student. I find myself in New Jersey for the first time. Farthest away from home I'd ever been, for sure. But hey, I'm pretty close to New York City. So that's kind of neat. So a friend from college he'd already graduated and he was working up here. And so we got with him, and he's gonna take us on our first trip to New York City. Myself and my roommate, who was from Michigan, and a couple of other people that he was friends with or knew or whatever. So we actually drive to a town called Hoboken, which is in New Jersey, right along the Hudson River. This is the town where Frank Sinatra was born. Very old town, very popular town with younger professionals that work in the area, because it's kind of a lot of bars and restaurants and things to do like that. So a popular place, but has definitely gotten quite expensive over the years as people move out of Manhattan into Jersey due to costs. So yeah, we drive to Hoboken. We find somewhere to park eventually. Parking in Hoboken is nightmarish, always has been. And we walk to the train station. The train is called the PATH. And PATH stands for Port Authority Trans Hudson. And all this train does all day is go underneath the Hudson River between parts of New Jersey into Manhattan. And I'm sure you can connect to other parts of New York City as well. But we took the PATH into Manhattan and eventually got out on the 23rd Street stop. And again, obviously you're on a train, so you're underground. We get out of the train, we come out of the sort of station area, and all of a sudden we're in a mall, which is kind of confusing. Again, small town kid, never had any experience in a city of significant size before. And I get off of a train that just went underneath a river, and I walk up some steps, and all of a sudden I'm in a mall. I'm just like, what's happening? What's happening around here? And we eventually work our way up to the street level, and we just walk out onto the sidewalk from the mall. And it's just, again, one of those sort of formative experiences in your life when you see something like that for the first time. Just, immediately your eyes just shoot upwards because you want to see, like, wow, these are really tall buildings. So you're just, it's just, it is what it is. You can't stop yourself from doing that. And I know, like, oh, you don't want to look like a tourist. You got to watch where you're going. You can't walk slowly. You can't just stand on the sidewalk and gawk at things. There's rules, because, that many people moving and going places at one time, it takes some serious management to coordinate that and keep that thing moving. So when there's a dumb kid from South Carolina like, holy crap, look at these buildings, I've never really talked like that, to be honest, but yeah, that's a video for another day. But yeah, so it's a bit overwhelming, but I know at first, I'm like, we basically did that walk up Fifth Avenue where you're going by all the high-end shopping. You see St. Patrick's Cathedral, you see Rockefeller Center. You eventually get to the Plaza Hotel, which is on the corner right there overlooking Central Park. And I believe, we walked all the way up to the Met, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is the largest museum in the Western Hemisphere. You could probably live in the Met and take a year to see everything there. It's insanely large. But we walked up there and checked that out, because Kraft Foods is really cool, because they had a program where, like, you could pretty much get into all the cultural sort of destinations in New York City for free just because you worked for them. So that was really cool. But yeah, at the end of this day, I'm like, I want to live in New York City. I'm going to live here one day, and I'm not going to have a car, and I want to do all the things. And that was just like I was like Johnny number 5 in Short Circuit, just more input. I was all about it. It was just an exciting experience, and I took to it. I know a lot of people do not like big cities, don't want to be anywhere near them. My brother's like that. Like, my brother wants to live like in the middle of nowhere in Montana and be as far away from the nearest person as he can possibly get. But I'm kind of not like that. Now, my moods or my feelings on that have definitely shifted over the years as you start to learn how expensive it is to live in New York City. Even in the outer boroughs, it's not cheap. It just doesn't exist anymore. To actually be in Manhattan and not live in a 200 square foot closet, it's pretty insane. And honestly, I like the freedom of being able to jump in my car and just go do whatever I want to, And I'm not saying just because you live in New York, you can't own a car, but it's just another significant expense because you have to park that car somewhere. I know some people that try to do the whole free street parking thing day in and day out, but finding a free spot on the street there's a science devoted just to that, honestly, depending on where you are. There's a method I'm sure they develop over the years to find out this is where I start to look, and then I work out in concentric circles like George Costanza on Seinfeld. But yeah, I no longer have the desire to live in New York City anymore. I'm not saying it's something I wouldn't enjoy, but that's just not how my life is really set up right now. I've got a wife, I've got a cat, 2 cats and a dog. Again, I really enjoy the freedom of being able to just go do what I want to when I want to do it. And the places I'm going to generally have free parking. And pretty hassle-free existence, so to speak. So as I get older, I'm definitely placing more value on sort of peace and quiet and things like that. So, that impulse has passed, but it was still a really fun experience, and I still love going into the city from time to time to go to concerts and just go see things and experience that. But I also like to once enough time has passed and I've done the thing, I also like to get out and go sit in my lazy boy and watch YTPC videos. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. Do you guys like big cities? Do you like New York City? Do you hate big cities? You never want to be in a big city for as long as you live, sort of thing? Holler at me in the comments. You guys take care.